All right, a Wednesday edition of Mystery Relevant live on ESPN Madison's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter platforms, as well as wherever you get your favorite podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand. How you doing, everybody? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Everlight Solar Studio. Lots to get into today. We're going to talk with Molly Brand in about 10 minutes. She was at Bucks Media Day Monday. I want to get a reaction to Jimmy Butler's haircut. A little Taylor Swift action from over the weekend, but also we're just gonna hash some things out. I got a bunch of things I want to go over with Molly Brown in terms of Wisconsin sports, but it's been a weird week, right? It's October, you think football season, especially in Wisconsin. Packers and Badgers. Badgers were off last week. Packers played on Thursday. It's Wednesday, so it's been almost a week since the Packers lost to the Lions. They don't play again until Monday. So all eyes have been on the Milwaukee Brewers the last week or so, as last Tuesday, so 8 days ago, they wrapped up the NL Central. Last Wednesday, a week ago today, we made fun of Hunter for leaving the game early. Hunter Vaughn, the producer of the show, we made fun of him for leaving the game early, in which they lost but also clinched the NL Central due to a Cubs epic loss. And now a week later, here we are talking about a total meltdown for the Brewers themselves, right? They go up 3-0 early last night in Game 1 of their wild card series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Burnes gets totally blasted last night. And somebody tweeted me and said, Burnes has been like this all season. I don't know why anybody's surprised. However, that's not totally true, right? Has Burnes had bad moments? Yes. But he is still an elite pitcher, the elite of elite pitchers. And he didn't look the part last night at all, especially in a situation where you're down your number 2 guy in Brandon Woodruff, and you need to win Game 1, right? You don't want this to go three games, and you don't want to win 2 in a row. Can the Brewers do it? Absolutely. But last night was about as frustrating of a baseball game that I remember watching, probably since the last time the Brewers were in the playoffs, because this seems to be the case with them every single year. They find a way to melt down. They find a way to lose games they probably shouldn't lose. And last night was, again, one of those cases. They go up 3-0 after 2 innings. And that felt comfortable, right? I was sitting back. I was drinking a cherry brandy old-fashioned from my friends at Door County Distillery, and I was thinking to myself, they're going to win this game, right? Burnes just needs to continue to deal, and then you bring in some of the relievers, and then Devin Williams, and the end of the game, you're good. Right? Just cruise it out, win 3-0, maybe 3-1. And then you have multiple situations in the middle innings where the Brewers have bases loaded, no outs or 1 out, and they can't capitalize on situations. And we talked on Monday with Jesse Nelson about the fact that the Brewers' offense seems to stutter, right? They have been bad, but they've also been good enough, right? Good enough to win 92 games in the regular season. But it's still a question mark. But when you have the bullpen, and when you have the starting pitching, and obviously the closer like Devin Williams, when you have that, you should be good enough to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that just wasn't the case last night. As, some of the decision-making, too, right, is what I want to get into next. I just didn't get it, right? So, obviously, you had a situation in which a ball in the dirt looks like it may have bounced off of the foot of Bryce Terang, but he moved the foot, and it didn't hit him, and they overturn it, and that loses the bases loaded / what would have been a run. Just that was bad. But then you have a situation in, I believe it was the bottom of the 8th, maybe bottom of the 7th, when they bring in Jesse Winker to pinch hit. And the guy hasn't swung a baseball bat in a minute, right? This is batting practice for Jesse Winker. In a playoff game, in the biggest game of the season, Jesse Winker's out there taking batting practice, and then he goes down 0-2, and he's hurt again, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, look, I've never claimed to be the smartest baseball mind in the world. I'll never claim that, right? I wouldn't call myself a fair weather fan, because I'm always a Brewers fan. I watch a little bit during the regular season, and obviously I'll get super locked in the playoffs. But to bring in Jesse Winker in that situation is very questionable. And I never want to dunk on or criticize Craig Counsell, because I think overall he is a damn good manager. But last night there were several things where I just went, I don't really get that. And I looked to smarter minds, right? One of my buddies, Dom Catronio, with WTMJ, great Brewers host and reporter. among a million other titles that he holds. Even he's tweeting, I don't get this one. I don't get this one. So when a dumb mind like mine looks to a smarter mind like his, and even he says, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. That's when I go, probably not the best of decisions, again, in the largest game of the season, in the biggest spotlight of the season. Questionable decisions can't be made, right? Like, you're up 3-0, find a way to win the game. And then, obviously, things went crashing down very quickly in the third and the fourth inning when the Diamondbacks took the lead and ultimately never let go. So, looking forward, you got to find a way to win the night. Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Crew tonight. I like Freddie. I think he's a damn good pitcher. But the Diamondbacks also have a pretty darn good pitcher on the mound in Game 2, too. The way they set up their starting rotation to start this series was weird to me. Now I get it. But it ain't over, right? Like, you got to have the bats come alive tonight. Am I confident that will happen? Of course not. You never can be with Milwaukee. But if Freddie can deal for 6 good innings, you're winning this game. Freddie, 6 innings, you win. That's the only way I'm looking at this. He allows 1 run or less. I'm confident they win. And obviously, it's not a small bar to clear, right? One run, 6 innings. I think they win this game. And then you get a Game 3 tomorrow, and then I don't know what the hell happens. But I can't believe how frustrated a baseball game made me last night. But I can believe how frustrated other people were at a baseball game, because these are the same people that get frustrated at the Packers and the Bucks every time something doesn't go right. And I'm listening to a great show, Wilde and Tausch, this morning on ESPN Wisconsin. And they're talking about whether or not Wisconsin sports fans are cursed or blessed. And it just reminds me of what I always go back to with Packers fans, right? Like, I love you guys. I'm one of you. But there's just this sense of entitlement that bugs the hell out of me when it comes to Wisconsin sports fans. We are really lucky. And I'm not making excuses for what went wrong last night for the Milwaukee Brewers, because that was probably a game they should have won. But to have these ridiculously high expectations, and when they're not met, like, you played yourself. And the reaction consistently, right? Like, I'm even looking back to Thursday night when the Packers lost to the Lions. There was constantly this expectation that if the Packers or the Brewers or the Bucks don't win games by 3 times the opponent's score, it's a failure. And it's gotten to a point where it's bugging the shit out of me. Like, there is just such a sense of entitlement for Packers fans and Brewers fans and Bucks fans. Like, we are lucky by all means, and I understand frustration when it comes to questionable decisions or, things being overturned that maybe you don't want them to, although that ball did not hit the foot of Bryce Terang. I just needed to get that off my chest. I needed to vent a little bit. Like, I understand frustration, don't get me wrong, but a level of entitlement I will never get, right? Like, it's especially prevalent with the Packers, even more so the Bucks. Not so much the Brewers. I understand the frustration, but the level of entitlement really bugged me. And I know we called Green Bay Title Town, and I've made the joke before, Entitled Town. Like, everybody take a breath, relax. This series ain't over for the Brewers. There's still a lot of season left for the Packers. Things are going to be all right. Things are going to shape out just fine. Let's all take a breath together. 1, 2, 3. We're feeling better. All right, Hunter Vaughn, I want to turn to you because I know you have a lot of thoughts on this. I want to give you a quick, 30, 40 seconds. Just get it off your chest. Vent, go.
I'm so beyond frustrated with this team just because of the fact that I can go back to 2008 and it's the same exact issues for the Brewers. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. Their star pitchers fall apart or they get hurt because they punch walls, apparently. And it looked like this was Craig Counsell was just like, you know what? I'm going to go join my buddy David Stearns in New York next year. I'm going to go manage the Mets. I'm not getting a contract here, so I don't really care. I'll put the guy Jesse Winker out there, who I'm convinced has blackmail on Craig Counsell.
Yeah, I love that from you. I just don't understand him in that situation. Does that make any sense to you at all?
I didn't get it at all.
I was trying, I slept on it, obviously. And this morning I woke up, and that's what my mind kept going back to, is why is Jesse Winker swinging in this situation? I didn't get that. That one didn't make a ton of sense to me. And it was Bryce Terang he came in for. And should you trust the bat of Jesse Winker more so than Bryce Terang?
No.
I don't think so either. So what are they doing in that situation where? And I'm not sitting here and acting like Bryce Terang had an amazing night from the plate, right? Like I think he had one at bat, and he ultimately got reached on balls. So I don't know. It didn't make a ton of sense to me. Did not make a ton of sense to me. I'm really curious to see what goes on. What goes on tonight. This from Dom Catronio, who I mentioned before. Really good stat from him. The Brewers lost the first game of a 3-game series 20 times this season. They only followed with back-to-back wins 5 times. So in order for the Brewers to win this wild card series, they need to do what they only did 25% of the time this season, which is win games 2 and 3 in a 3-game series. They haven't done it. They just did it, though, in their last homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals. But the previous 4 times, opening weekend, May, July. So it's been a while since the Brewers have responded to a loss in Game 1 of a 3-game series with back-to-back wins. It's concerning.
I didn't need to hear that.
I'm just throwing facts at you, bro. And you said to me yesterday, before this game, you said, I got a really weird feeling about this series. I don't think they're going to win tonight. And I texted you, I think probably 8th inning, shortly after Winker came into the game. I texted you, I said, you were totally right. Because I tried to talk you off the ledge yesterday, like I often do with you. Right? Like, we've gone over this before. You're an anxious guy. Right?
Yeah.
You get a little stressed out sometimes. And I came to you. I said, hey, buddy, let them play the game first. Right? Like, let's relax. Corbin Burns on the mound, man. He's going to throw heat all night. And by inning 8, I was like, shit. Yeah, Hunter had it right.
I've seen this story so many times with this team. Like, it's different with the Bucks when they lose. Like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah. I'm disappointed. But at least they lose in different ways.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't predict it. I can tell you what the Brewers are going to do. I see Christian Yelich up, or before that it was Ryan Braun up. Mm-hmm. If he's got a runner on second, he's going to swing at a slider away from him that he has no business even thinking about swinging at to strike out. It happens every single time with this team, no matter who the player is, and I'm just so tired of it.
I completely understand the frustration. So can the Brewers do what they only did 25% of the time this season, which is respond to a Game 1 loss in a 3-game series with back-to-back wins? You sure hope so. You could sure use Brandon Woodruff here. Do we know what happened there? By the way, Hunter, did you read anything on that? Because I don't know how he hurt his shoulder. I just know he hurt his shoulder.
I know he's had some issues with it.
Right?
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. He re-aggravated an issue he's had for years, and just, of course he would, because this is Ben Sheets all over again when thought, oh, we'll go CC Sabathia, Ben Sheets. This is great. This is awesome. Nope. That can't happen. Can't have nice things if you're a Brewers baseball fan.
I will give you one nice thing, and then we'll take a break and be joined by Molly Brown. Tyrone Taylor's exciting, man. I like him. I don't know why he was batting 9th, because obviously he gave them the big swing early in the game. But let's move him up the lineup a little bit.
Well, you get the turnover, then the thought would be get the turnover going into Yelich at the top of your order. Yeah, it helps out that, you can't just kind of just go after your bottom of the order then.
Yeah, going back to the questionable decisions we just brought up, by the way, as my phone rings. Not the EAS test yet. By the way, if you're watching live, reminder, your phone's going to buzz at 1:20 today, Central Time. One other questionable decision is the construction of this roster, right? The 26-man roster going into the wild card. No Rowdy Tellez, no Garrett Mitchell. Why do you make those decisions? I don't know. But your boy Jesse Winker gets a spot. None of it makes sense.
Got blackmail on council.
I think you're right about that. All right, Molly Brown joins us next. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Our conversation with Sports Center superstar Molly Brown on Mr. Irrelevant is brought to you by my friends at Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. Elevate your gathering, your party, your tailgate, whatever you got going on, elevate it with Door County Distillery. Whether it's that delicious blue bottle of vodka, that delicious green bottle of gin. I've been on the cherry brandy, had a couple of cherry brandy old fashions during the game last night. You got to do it right. Do it right with Door County Distillery. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com. They've got a huge list, which expanded this week with their fall recipes of unique cocktail recipes. doorcountydistillery.com. You can also find the retailer nearest you for Door County Distillery. Do it right, baby, with Door County Distillery. Molly Brown coming up now. All right, back to work. Molly Brown joins us now, coming fresh off of her miraculous big-time appearance at Bucks Media Day on Monday. featured on the ESPN TikTok, featured on SportsCenter and Instagram until they deleted it.
Yeah, I'm a little sketched out about that.
Yeah, I would be too. I don't get it.
Did I do something wrong?
I don't think you did. I wonder, we don't have the video, but we can pretty much explain it to you. So you asked a bunch of Bucks players to name the 4 NBA teams with Z's in their name, right? So that's the Trailblazers, the Grizzlies, the Jazz, and who am I forgetting?
Wait, who'd you say? Trailblazers, Grizzlies, Jazz.
Yep. Who's the fourth? You asked the question.
See, that's where the question gets you. Hold on, I have it written down. Trailblazers, Jazz, Grizzlies. Hold on.
Who am I forgetting?
This is bad. Oh, hold on. Wizards, duh.
Wizards,
well,
Washington.
they're kind of irrelevant.
They are. That's accurate. Shout out Johnny Davis, though.
Yeah.
So you asked a bunch of Bucks that question, and then Jay Crowder replied with 2 teams that definitely don't have a Z in their name. The Spurs, and then one team he literally played for, and that would be the Phoenix Suns, who also don't have a Z in their name.
No Z.
So I wonder if this went on the SportsCenter Instagram, and Jay Crowder DM'd him and was like, hey, just take this bleep down.
I'm actually thinking that's what happened. I have no evidence to this, but I would guarantee, not even guarantee, I would bet that his people contacted ESPN.
This is your theory?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
What are the other options? There is no other option. His people contacted SportsCenter, ESPN, whatever, and said, take this down.
Yeah.
He looks not very smart.
Oh, no, he really doesn't. He looks, as I told you, he looks completely illiterate. I don't know if he was just out of it, if he was just trying to think too fast. I don't know what happened, but.
I don't know. I don't know. It was just it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When I asked the question, then when he says it with there's just straight face, you can see it in the video. He says Spurs. What am I supposed to say to that?
No,
dude, those are
hello?
S's.
Both S's.
I don't
Making
know.
all of us Marquette fans proud.
Yeah, Marquette education, man. It's unmatched. All right, Molly. Real quick on the Bucks, and then we'll talk a little Brewers and Packers and whatever the hell else comes up.
I'm also wearing Marquette colors today.
What? It's a Brewers shirt.
It's a Brewers shirt, but it's Marquette colors, which I look great in Marquette colors, especially compared to Badger colors. Hunter's wearing Badger colors. Marquette colors are just better.
What do you mean you look great in them?
Blues really make my eyes and my skin tone look great. Red just pulls the red out of my skin.
What was the look that you had to give me with that?
I can't hear you. I think I need to have headphones in.
Yeah. He said, what was the look you gave him when you said that?
Oh, did I give you a look? I didn't mean to. I just meant you're wearing Badger color red because you're going to Badger Media Day today. I'm
I don't
wearing
think that's
Marquette
why.
blue.
I think he's wearing ESPN red.
Yeah.
Okay, ESPN red, Badger red. I don't know, Cardinal.
Yeah. Cardinal. Yeah.
But either way, I'm wearing Marquette colors, Brewers shirt. Big Brewers fan over here.
How much of the game did you watch last night?
Actually, a lot. Last night was the first Brewers game that I've watched all season. I'm not a big Brewers gal, not a baseball gal.
Yep.
It was an exciting game, though.
Yeah.
It really was.
I forgot my water. You want to go get my water for me?
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks.
You're having a
Live
coughing
radio.
attack? No, I would say I probably watched 7 innings.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed by you.
Yeah.
So I just said, I'm sick of the entitlement from Wisconsin sports fans. Not
Interesting.
even in relation to this, just everything.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Do you classify yourself as being in that group?
No.
You're not an entitled sports fan. You're just having a coughing attack. Are you
I
Adam
thought water
Schefter?
was going to come out of my nose there when you said that. No, I don't think I am. I think I struggle with this. So, no, I think I have high expectations, but I don't have unreasonably high expectations. And when my high expectations are not met, I don't think I freak out like everybody should be fired.
Okay.
Whereas, I saw a tweet last night.
Are you alive?
I'm gathering my thoughts.
Okay.
I saw a tweet last night that it was like a theory that Craig Counsell threw the game on purpose because he's going to leave for the Mets.
Okay.
And then I saw somebody tweeted me too when I told Corbin Burns to wake up that he was throwing the game because of the arbitration case where over $750,000 that the Brewers did not pay him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that school of thought, I guess.
I think those are both really stupid theories.
I mean, I agree, but there's so much more common than I think we realize, right? Like
Throwing series?
not even throwing
Throwing
series,
games?
not even that, but like just I don't have really good examples for the Packers, but just the consistent overreaction in a year where like I think we expected to win 6 games.
Okay.
Like they got their ass kicked by a better team last week.
Yeah.
That's expected.
Yes. That's why I think like all the criticism of the Green Bay Packers, you bring up that example, I think that it's also stupid. Like I think Jim Rutledge is one of the biggest people. I think he's one of the biggest people that says like that just hates on Love and says, "Oh, like the offense is trash and all this." Weren't we expecting the offense to be trash? Well, I was.
Not trash, but I think underdeveloped and
Okay, underdeveloped. You want to be
growing
proper.
pains. No,
Yes.
I don't think they were going to be trash ever. Right? Like I think they have the right pieces in place. You have a good O-line when it's healthy, and you have Aaron Jones. Right? So like you should be able to score points as long as Jordan Love is competent, and he's proven through 4 weeks he's at least competent, if not better than that. And then you look at the weapons around him, right? Like they're young, they're inexperienced, but hopefully as experience grows and they get better and they play more, this offense begins to click. And so I don't think trash is the right word.
Okay, sorry. Trash might be a little bit hard. I apologize.
Hard, harsh.
Harsh. I apologize.
Where's your mind right now?
Not where yours is. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no problem.
So go back to the Brewers, though. What are you talking about? Like,
I just think like I hate to say this when they need to win 2 games in a row, and I think they may. I just never thought this was a World Series team. I don't think anybody should have. Right? Like they have the pitching, sure, when Woodruff is healthy. So when they lose game 1, rightfully so, people are frustrated. But I never. This team finds a hilarious way to lose in the postseason every single year.
so okay, like I said, I'm not a big baseball fan. Haven't been following the team whatsoever. I'll root for them, all that stuff. But I swear, last week I was listening to ESPN Wisconsin, and there were hosts saying that this is a World Series championship level team.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we just like? Did Brandon Woodruff make that big of a difference?
I think he makes a difference, right? Because you're throwing him tonight if he's healthy, and then you get Freddie for a big game 3 game tomorrow.
And I've also heard that this matchup between the Brewers and the Diamondbacks is not ideal for Brewers fans. Hunter, I believe that you were one of the people that said it, that you didn't want them to play the Diamondbacks because of how the 2 series went this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks won 4 of the 6 games coming into this series.
They won 4 of 6.
Yeah, no, I know. We're good. We got you.
Yeah, this was the worst possible matchup they could have gotten.
I don't know that that's true.
It is
It's
for
one
the
of them.
wild card
It's
teams.
one of them. It's one of
the
them.
only other
Do you
2
guys think
teams-
anything with like the with the Diamondbacks being such a young team, and because they won like no games 2 years ago, correct?
Yeah, they were really bad 2 years ago.
Like, do you think that's something too as a Brewers fan to watch out for? Like, they are a young team that wants to change their franchise.
Yeah, but the Brewers
And
aren't
they're coming
that.
for the Brewers.
Right? Like the Brewers aren't that. And the way this team is constructed, which I've argued poorly in the past, I don't know. It's frustrating, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't think they're going to win the series.
Interesting. Do you think they're going to win game 2?
Yes.
So it's going to go
I
to
think
game
they'll win
3.
tonight. They'll lose tomorrow.
Ooh, I don't like that take. I'm going to say they're going to win 2 in a row.
So
Bet.
I read a stat in the Open that might change your mind.
Okay.
So the Brewers played 23-game series this year where they lost game 1.
23 games. Okay.
They won 5 of them,
Ooh.
which means they won back-to-back
Whoa.
games only 5 times, which is 25% of those 3-game series that they lost game 1 in. They only responded the way they need to, or else their season's over,
Yep.
5 times. So that scares me a little bit. So we'll see.
I
We'll
like
see.
that stat, though. Good one that you dug up there.
Dom Catronio, WTMJ. All credit to him.
Nice.
Stole it from him. All right, Packers, they got their ass kicked, as I mentioned. They go to Vegas this week. Mm-hmm. Kind of a big game for Jordan Love.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about it.
Really?
Not feeling great.
That's a bad team.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But they have pieces that can beat
But I'm
the
just
Packers.
thinking about it, too, because I'm like, it's an away game
Yeah.
in Vegas, big time, Monday Night Football. Like, that's a little daunting. But when I think about it, there's going to be a lot of Packer fans there. I think it's going to feel like
For
a
sure.
home game.
And I think you're right.
Doesn't mean anything considering that we've almost lost at Lambeau Field 2 times.
Lambeau Field is no longer the scariest place in the NFL to play. I mean, it helps they have a young team, right? Like that helps that argument. But it's just not anymore. It's not daunting. It's not like you're going in to play a Hall of Fame quarterback anymore, right? And you're playing a defense that you know how to beat them. And
Run the ball?
To your point,
Is
right?
that how
like
you beat them?
The Raiders have two really good pieces that can tear the Packers' defense apart. Josh Jacobs is a really good back. Hasn't had a good season, but he's a really good back. And obviously, the former Packer on the outside, Devontae Adams.
See, this is the game that I wish that we had Aaron Rodgers for.
Yeah.
Just because I want to see Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Not because I think that Rodgers will give whatever. I'm not even going into that, but just I want to see
wait till like week 14. You'll see Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Jet Green.
You think so?
No. It'd be fun, though. I wouldn't be shocked if Devontae Adams gets traded. I just don't think it'll be to the Jets.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't know, A, if they're even willing to pull the trigger on that. The Jets are. B, I know the reason Devontae left Green Bay in the first place was because Rodgers couldn't give him a long-term commitment. So
I don't think Rodgers can give him a long-term commitment no matter what.
no, he'll play one more year. I think he'll be back this year, though.
No.
You disagree?
Yeah. What's the point of him in it?
Did you see him talking on? All right, look, I have Rodgers fatigue like everybody else, right? Like I'm sick of him, but I do keep an eye on him, right? Like it's like the X on Instagram, right? Like you're just curious what they're up to sometimes.
Oh, how often do you do that?
Well, I'm blocked by my ex on Instagram, so never.
What did you do?
That means he did it a lot.
Messy breakup. Messy breakup. Not important.
I'll ask more questions when we're off the air.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm just I keep an eye on him here and there, and I saw he said on McAfee, what was that, yesterday, whenever he goes on Tuesdays, I think?
Yep.
He said, everything I'm doing is not normal in terms of recovery. He's like, I was in a shoe in 2 weeks. Usually that's a 6-week thing. So I think he might not only be back for the playoffs, I think he may play a regular season game. If
Is he just like tooting his own horn though? Because everybody said,
yeah,
"Oh my God,
does.
this could be career ending."
that's what he
He's
does.
49 years old. I know he's
Right.
not 49,
Well,
people.
Evan
but,
Longoria is 58 years old, and he killed the Brewers last night. So.
but yeah, like, is this just Roger like tooting his own horn, making him like
Yes.
seem like he's so great and everything, or like, or do you actually wholeheartedly believe that he'll be back before the end of the season?
So I think he can be. I think he will be able to, but I don't know if there will be anything to play for.
That's my biggest thing is like, it's not like the Jets are winning every single game.
Well,
They're not undefeated.
They have some. They're 1-3. They've lost their last 3.
Yes.
I just think the way they looked against the Chiefs is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. They play out the Broncos this week, so I think they win that. Then they play the Eagles. That's tough. Go to the Giants. They stink. Play the Chargers. Meh. It's an okay game. That's a Monday night game. And then they go to Las Vegas. Bad. Mm-hmm. Should beat them. Bills, tough. Dolphins, tough. But then Falcons, Texans, Commanders, Browns, Patriots, all on the schedule yet in the regular season. So if they're wavering around 7-6
Rodgers
going into
coming
week
back?
14, week 15 with 3 games left, yeah.
There's no way he comes back that fast. There's no way.
I have a hard time betting against Aaron Rodgers. I always have, right? Like I've said this 800 million times. It's probably the thing I've said the most about him. Don't put a chip on his shoulder because he will prove you wrong.
Okay. Weren't they saying that this injury was going to be like a year-long recovery, though?
It's I think it's 4 to 6 months typically. So like they were thinking maybe late playoffs, maybe, but
No.
they're not going to be alive for that. So I don't know. I think if they have something to play for, he'll play in the regular season.
No.
Yeah.
No, he won't.
Okay.
Nope, he's too old. Bet.
He's too old. Bet. What else? What else are you thinking about these days? What's on your mind?
Ooh, what else is on my mind? Oh my gosh. You ever have any wardrobe malfunctions?
I don't know where this is headed. Yeah.
You totally do. I know you do.
Yeah, quite often. Yeah. Well, I have really sweaty armpits, so I mean, like we can show the camera. I'm probably not looking too good right now. I mean, so yeah, light clothing is troublesome.
You know, I was a little bit nervous wearing this today. Am I good?
You're doing okay.
This is a.
Why do you ask that question?
Well, do you really want to know?
I asked the question. I
So,
don't know where this is headed. But
As you said, big time while around here. I was over at the Bucks Media Day the other day, right?
did you have a wardrobe malfunction?
Yes.
But it wasn't on accident.
What?
I don't know where this is
Do
going.
you
So maybe I
think I
shouldn't
just
say.
like pulled my shirt down? Like what? What are you talking about? It wasn't on accident.
Well, I don't know if you want to repeat what you've told me about Bucks media day?
No, we're
Okay,
good.
okay.
We're good.
All right.
No. So this was a wardrobe malfunction, not planned. Thank God I was wearing something. Let me just tell you. I go to the bathroom. They have a really nice like women's locker room at the Bucks training facility because that's where it was at. I'm going to the bathroom. You know, like you're sitting and you like.
Well, I don't know. I stand, but go on.
Well, you've sat before, definitely. But I was not doing that. But I like pulled my jeans down and there's a hole in the crotch.
Oh, no.
Just like the seams fell apart. And I was like, oh my God, can you see this? Like, what do I do? Just panicking. Luckily, I don't know how many women are listening to this podcast right now. Hope a lot. I was wearing a bodysuit. So it's essentially like.
That was actually going to be my question. And I'm not even joking. I was going to ask if you were wearing a bodysuit.
Yes. Well, you saw my outfit, so maybe you put it together. Yes. So I was wearing a bodysuit, which is essentially a one-piece swimsuit.
I didn't put it together. That's why I was going to ask the question.
Okay, so it's a one-piece swimsuit, basically, right? So thank God I had something down there, because otherwise, would have just been there, right in your face.
So the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow, in your face.
The Milwaukee Bucks would have seen too much, is what you're saying.
Oh, way too much. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to.
No, go ahead. Come on. You can't say that and then not make the joke.
I was going to say the Milwaukee Bucks were going to see. They were going to see my Milwaukee Bucks.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
What do you think I was going to say?
I don't know. I didn't know what you were going to say.
It would not
You're
have
a
been.
Milwaukee Buck, huh?
Yeah.
Do you? All right, this might be too much.
You can ask me.
I might get fired for this one. But do either of you nickname your privates? Because people do that. People do that.
What?
Well, you just call. I mean, like, I guess maybe it's a television thing.
That's definitely a TV thing. Never done that.
Okay, I haven't either. But I was curious if it was more normal than maybe I thought.
Do you don't do that?
I mean, like, I maybe.
What do you think mine was going to be named? Once I said Milwaukee Buck, it was going to be Bucky. What are we saying? What are we saying here?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, do you name your car? You totally name your car.
No, I only do because people tell me to. You do for sure. What's the name of your car?
I do not name my car. I think that's so freaking weird.
No,
when people do that.
I always make it up. Right, so my car's probably changed names 100 times. I drive a Ford Focus, so like Francesca maybe. Francesca the Ford Focus.
Sounds kind of hot.
Yeah, Francesca's a hot name. Are hot names real?
Like.
So I just read something.
Okay.
This is why I'll throw it at you. I forget which name it was. I think it was Tom. Tom is a hot name now. Although it went forever without being a hot name. It was just polled. I think it's Thomas or Tom. Hot name now.
Tom or Tommy?
Tom. Just Tom. Do you have no opinion on the matter?
I mean, it's kind of weird because our boss's name is Tom.
I actually didn't think of that, so fair point.
I don't really want to answer.
No, that's fair.
Give me another one.
What about Jordan?
Jordan, he says.
Well, I have a best friend named Jordan, but she's a girl. So it depends. What do you guys think about Jordan?
For a girl?
Sounds like a basketball player to me.
Yeah, I agree. I can't think of anything but Michael Jordan with that. George?
Ugh.
Okay.
Think of like Prince Harry or something like that. Yeah.
What about Harry?
Ugh.
Horrible name, right?
Horrible name. Who thought of that?
I don't know. Harry's a really bad name.
I knew a guy named Harry Butts. Real name.
Shut up.
Real name.
Did his parents hate him?
No, there is, in my hometown, the whole family, the Butts family.
And his name was Harold.
And yeah, his name was Harold, and then everybody called him Harry.
That is so. Why would you do that to your kid?
Yeah, that. I think they hated their child.
Yeah, well, and then too, the mom in that family, she was a substitute teacher, so a bunch of us elementary school boys, we thought it was hilarious when we would get Mrs. Butts for our sub.
I was just having a conversation with somebody. I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Alex Strouf, who works with us here. And he was talking, about how we got to the name Dick, right? Like people, like why did we skip Rich and Rick?
Ricky,
right? How did we get from Richard to Dick?
I don't know who came up with that.
I don't know. I won't understand. I will never understand that one. So
Yeah, that's not great. I'm glad I'm not a dick.
I agree, Molly. I agree, Molly. I also agree. All right, Molly Brown. You can catch her on ESPN's TikTok. Pretty surreal.
ESPN's TikTok, not SportsCenter's TikTok.
You were on SportsCenter's Instagram for like 3 hours.
Yeah, my 5 minutes of fame.
Literally. I don't know why
Literally,
they deleted
my
that.
5 minutes of fame.
Jay Crowder will never do another interview with you again. Are
Yeah,
you
he
okay
probably
with that?
hates me.
You okay with that?
I'll get him to like me again.
All right, fair enough.
See if he recognizes me. Next time I go to
Well,
a Bucks
clearly,
thing.
if your theory is correct that he tried to eliminate this video from existing.
Like, that's the only theory, right? Am I crazy thinking that?
No, I think SportsCenter didn't maybe change their mind, or maybe it wasn't getting the numbers they wanted.
It had like 23,000 likes. What do their other posts get?
I don't know. I guess that's something you could look into.
Let me do a little comparison.
All right, I'm going to let you go in the meantime, though.
Oh, okay.
We'll have you back soon.
Okay.
These conversations always get ridiculous with you.
Yeah, you might get kicked off the air. I'm sorry if you do.
It's a good way to end it. We'll wrap up the show next. Hey, another weekend with no Green Bay football coming up. They play Monday night at Las Vegas, the Raiders. It's the Davante Adams reunion/revenge game, I guess you could look at it as. We're getting ready with Green Bay Game Day. Join me, my buddy Jim Rutledge, reunited, and it feels so good, on Green Bay Game Day beginning at 4 o'clock on Monday on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, and hopefully not 620 WTMJ, just because I want Milwaukee's postseason to continue, but we'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, those are typically the three stations you can find us on, as well as on YouTube at ESPN Madison and at ESPN Milwaukee. We'll be joined by Rob Demovsky. We'll be joined by Jason Wilde for an hour. We're getting you ready for all things Green Bay, Las Vegas. Another game in the national spotlight for the young QB, Jordan Love, looking to rebound after an ass-kicking last week against Detroit. We'll get you set for it. It's Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin beginning at 4 o'clock this Monday. Don't miss it. We wrap up the show now. Okay, a couple places to go here. So we'll get to what we learned in a moment. But I need to talk to Hunter for a moment. A lot of airtime for you today.
Yeah, I
Good
like
for
it.
you. Good for you. So last Friday, we introduced what's ruining Hunter's life. I don't even know how to transition here. So you explained how Damian Lillard was making your wife complain.
Yes, she was very nervous about my wife's childhood best friend was getting married at Gather. So it's a wedding venue that is in the Deer District. Very cool venue, awesome place. And with everything going on with Damian Lillard, his people tried to buy the presidential suite at a hotel from the bridal party.
Which is crazy to me they didn't throw an offer at him.
Well, it got a little weird, so they decided to just not deal with the headache of that.
Okay, fair.
But then with the welcome event that they were having at the Deer District, that was also causing some traffic headaches. And my wife was telling me about all of this, and then I explained on the podcast about how Damian Lillard trying to do all of this was causing a lot of extra stress around my life. And I realized that I'm ruining my own life then after this because I did not explain it well. And I also did not explain what was going on very well. And my wife watched it and was rightfully upset.
Okay, so give me a moment.
I mean, I listened back to it too.
Wasn't great.
No, it was bad. Like I was an asshole. I'll just flat out say it. This is the first time I've ever sworn on anything. I was an asshole.
Yeah.
It was not good.
So hold on. Slow down. So I asked you the question in the moment. I said, I assume your wife is not a fan of the show. To which you replied, yeah, she's not watching. And she was.
Yes, she definitely was.
And before the show even wrapped up, I saw you on your phone. I was like, uh-oh, something's going on. But I just figured you were right. I figured you knew your wife wasn't watching. And she was. So that's your public apology.
Sort of. I mean, I realized through all of it, like, my wife cares so deeply about the people in her life that she just wanted her childhood best friend to have the best day
Well,
possible.
yeah, I get. Hold on,
And,
I get that. Hold on,
so
hold
it
on,
was
hold
just-
on. Slow down.
I just want to make sure that people understand that I don't think my wife is a lunatic. So I want to make sure that that is off the table.
Look, I think a lot of people think their significant others are lunatics. That doesn't mean you don't love them. Now, secondly, this is your public apology. How many times was there a private apology? How long did that take? How long did the anger last? And did you go to the wedding Saturday? This happened Friday. You went to the wedding Saturday.
Yep.
24 hours later. Was she done being upset with you yet?
She was.
Okay, so you solved it quickly.
We had to have it was all through text messages Friday of me apologizing multiple times,
Sure.
especially after I listened back to it and
Okay.
realized what I had said. And then on the drive back on Sunday, then that nice hour-and-a-half drive back, we had another conversation about it and made sure that we were good and everything was on the same page. There were no issues day of the wedding or anything like that. Once we had talked about it, was like, okay, you know I am upset. You have apologized. You can, like, she understood that I realized what I did was not okay, and we moved on.
All right, so what I learned is apologies sometimes make it better. That's all I wanted to know today.
Yeah, you have to listen to the person, not just hear them.
Oh,
You
but
have
then,
to listen to them.
according to you, you got to then listen to yourself if it's
Yes.
recorded, and you
Yes.
find out you're an asshole.
Yes.
Huh.
I just talk too much.
Yeah, maybe it's time to stop. And I think it's time for me to stop, too. We'll be back Friday. Hopefully the Brewers are moving on. I'm not super confident that will be the case, but hopefully that is the case. Big weekend. Badgers homecoming. They play Rutgers. And then, of course, Packers play Monday night against Las Vegas. So we'll have a preview show coming up Monday for that. Here on Mr. Irrelevant. Appreciate you hanging out. If you're watching live, make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If you miss any of the always weird conversation with Molly Brown, always appreciate chatting with her. We'll have her back soon. That does it for us. Hunter, nice job today. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you on Friday. This has been Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf.